Greetings to our dear viewer of Uganda Catholic Television, and we are honored this day to have a very wonderful team with us in studio, and to interact with the team I am Kaveera Joshua Stephen, and we are going to be guided by the theme, which is Alliance for Mother Earth, Keep Namugongo Kaveera Free and Plant a Tree. Of course, we shall be looking at this as we gear up for the Martyrs' Day that will be on 3rd of June. Just a few days to reach the day as we all are preparing and trying to look forward to that very day. And now we shall be looking at this theme under the banner Keep Namugongo Kaveera Free and Plant a Tree. And of course in this theme, it is championed by Caritas Uganda and its partners, and they are looking forward for a cleaner, greener, and a pilgrimage through the Alliance for Mother Earth campaign. And without wasting more of the time, I'm going to ask my guests this day to introduce themselves, and then we dive deep into the theme as we move on. I'm going to begin with my immediate left, the gentleman, and then you introduce yourself to the viewer out there, and we follow suit like that.
Thank you so much. My name is Chizito Gotram Tebi. I'm the co-founder and director Nature in Mind Youth Environment Initiative, an organization that works in waste management, particularly plastic waste. We are working with youth groups and women groups in Wakiso. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome to Uganda Catholic Television. The gentleman next, you are welcome, and introduce yourself.
Yeah, thank you. I'm Godfrey Onentho Utwi. I head the Research Advocacy and Innovations Department at Caritas Uganda, at the Uganda Catholic Secretariat. I'm happy to be here, viewers.
You're very welcome, and we are honored to have you. Yes, next, the gentleman.
Yes. I'm Walusimbi Ibrahim from Undugu Youth Empowerment Group, based in Entebbe, Bus for the Rise. Yeah, I'm the secretary, and what we do as the Undugu Youth, we are into advocacy, we are into environment protection and awareness, and also health related activities. Thank you.
You're welcome, and we are glad to have you. Just our dear viewer out there, to just give you a brief history or brief details about the groups I'm having this evening. I have a guest from Nature in Mind Youth Environment Initiative, and it is a youth-led organization based in Wakiso district that uses innovation to tackle the environmental challenges, and they are also known for making plastic waste bins from recycled PET bottles, and for organizing major cleanup efforts like removing 800 kilograms of plastic from Rubiji wetland. And then also they run awareness campaigns to inspire youth-led environmental action. And also, to give you more details on Undugu Youth, it is a empowerment group located in Vasuderais, Entebbe, and it is a community-based youth movement committed to empowering young people to take action, especially on environmental issues. And they have led tree planting drives in partnership with the Uganda Kingdom and others. And actively, they engage in marathons, school campaigns, and also reach out to the communities to promote sustainability and have a better environment. And then, right, to give you also more details about Caritas Uganda, it is a Catholic Church's national arm for humanitarian and developmental work across all 19 dioceses. Since 1970, it has been championing causes like climate justice, food security, economic empowerment, and emergency relief, all grounded in Catholic social teaching. Caritas Uganda plays also a key role in coordinating this Alliance for Mother Earth campaign. And after that very short, brief introduction and details about the team I have, and now I want us to dive into our topic of this day, Alliance for Mother Earth, Keep Namugongo Kaveera Free and Plant a Tree. And I'm going to start with Mr. Godfrey from Caritas, and you will have to tell us what inspiration is behind the Alliance of Mother Earth campaign. What is the inspiration that has motivated you to come up with this campaign? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And viewers, the first inspiration is the Bible itself. Because we read in Genesis chapter 1, verse 28, that when God had created everything, it was good, and he put man in charge of whatever he had created. So the Garden of Eden was a very beautiful garden that was basking with the life and everything that is beautiful on earth. So that is the starting point, But of course, we also do realize the fact that once the man and woman, Adam and Eve, fell, then many things went asunder. So the fall of Adam and Eve symbolizes the fallenness of the entire creation, the vulnerability of the entire creation. And once man became vulnerable, became sinful, then it meant man began to pursue selfish interests. And part of the selfish interest was then to begin also to destroy the environment instead of being a steward of this environment. So that is the starting point, that we are stewards of creation. Then the second very important element, which is the Catholic social teaching, is the fact that the Church recognizes this reality, that is the fact that the human person enjoys his dignity only in communion with other human beings as well as with the entire creation. And this has been very well emphasized, particularly in Laudato Si, where Pope Francis looks at the human person as an integral part of creation and not separate from creation. Because the thinking in the minds of so many people for very many years has been that the human person is up there superior over and above the rest of creation. But Pope Francis is saying, no, this is a misguided, a conception and understanding of our relationship with the nature. What he's saying is we're an integral part of it. And that's why he refers to the earth as our common home. So he says, once we destroy our common home, which is the earth, then automatically the human person also is destroyed.
Yes.
And to further emphasize this point, he very much talks about interconnectedness of creation, interconnectedness of beings.
And nature.
Of the creatures, of nature. And that's something really which is central in Laudato Si. So that means we are so interconnected that once one element of nature is destroyed, that can disorganize the rest of the elements of nature. But also recognize the fact that in the whole of this design of creation, the human person has turned out the most destructive element of that creation.
Okay.
That actually a certain thinker said, without the human person, creation would thrive. But the human person cannot thrive without the rest of creation.
Okay.
But I think we also saw this during the COVID, during COVID, when we were all locked up inside.
Yeah.
Creation, there was a lot of restoration of creation, in the seas, everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes, so that is the second inspiration. The third inspiration is our own mandate as Caritas, our name, charity. We have a mandate that has been given by the Episcopal Conference to promote integrity of creation, development, humanitarian emergencies, and so forth. So the promotion of the environment is an integral part of our development work as Caritas.
Okay, all right. That is very good, brief information about what inspires you. Now I'm going to go to the gentleman from Undugu Youth Group, and I would like us to know what is the youth, Undugu Youth, contributing to the campaign at Namugongo, especially when we say keep Namugongo Kaveera free and plant a tree. What is Undugu Youth trying, what has it done to contribute to this move that is there, especially during this campaign as we go for Uganda Matters Day on 3rd?
Thank you, moderator. Undugu Youth, we've been in tree planting as one of our major areas in climate change restoration activities. So when you talk about Kaveera, Kaveera is one of the major hindering factors in what we do. You plant a tree, it doesn't thrive. Why? The Kaveera toxicity and the related issues of the Kaveera. So when Caritas invited us to join the campaign, we are so glad. So during the campaign, we've been able to work with different partners to mobilize tree seedlings. Yeah, and I think those are going to be given to pilgrims, maybe to plant in different places. And I hope they take these trees as a sign of beauty and nature. Undugu Youth is still doing more about it.
Okay, that's very wonderful and that's good. And now I'm going to go to the gentleman exactly immediate to me, and I would like you to tell us, and also the viewer out there, will you tell us more about Nature in Mind and how does it connect to this campaign, especially when we look at what you're doing and all the works you're doing out there? How do they connect to this campaign when we talk about Alliance for Mother Earth and then keeping Namugongo Kaveera free and planting a tree?
Thank you so much, Mr. Moderator. Nature in Mind Youth Environment Initiative, as I explained before, is an organization that works to innovate, to empower youths, as well as reaching out to communities and sensitizing particularly on the matter of plastic waste management. Now, when we talk about the Alliance for Mother Earth, first of all, I have to thank our team leaders from Caritas for coming up with such a great initiative that is not a selfish interest, but it's something that is going to benefit all of us, not only Ugandans, but setting up a good example to everyone across the world. And part of our contribution, for example, it's like being here. We are here to advocate for plastic-free communities.
Yes.
And we thank the Uganda Catholic Television for hosting us here, because this is a really good platform where we can express and let everybody know out there that indeed uncontrolled littering of plastics is a danger to our environment. And when we talk about Namugongo being a holy ground and keeping it Kaveera free, we are not just talking these words just to impress anyone.
Yes.
But what we are saying is that whoever goes there leaves the place clean. Not only going there and leaving the place clean, but setting an example that they should also keep when they go back home. So Nature in Mind is indeed working to see that we really do something when we are at Namugongo on the 3rd, to collect those bottles that people drink water from, the plastics, because we have something that we do with those plastics. So instead of leaving everything flying around, we are joining this alliance in order to come up with innovative solutions on how we can handle plastic waste. So, at our stall where we are right now at Namugongo, we already have distributed some bins there where people can litter, and also we are exhibiting some of the products that people can come up with, some easy craftable items that they can even do at home. Thank you.
Okay, that is very wonderful, and of course it is inspiring, and it also encourages people to participate in keeping the environment clean. I will go back to Mr. Onetho Godfrey from Caritas. I would like us to know, and also the viewer out there, why have you specifically chosen Namugongo and the 3rd June to launch this message? This message which is calling us all to keep Namugongo Kaveera free and plant a tree. But more so, not leaving it at that day of 3rd June, but also to continue with the message until we see that Mother Nature is out of Kaveera. Why specifically have you chosen Namugongo?
Now, the choice of Namugongo was prompted by an initiative that was launched around 2022 by NEMA jointly with the Uganda Episcopal Conference. I remember the chairperson of the conference was here. And many other stakeholders. We had Vivo Energy, NBS, television, and so many others. They're all here. So we launched an initiative to really keep Kaveera, keep Namugongo free of Kaveera, but at the same time also use that as a launch pad for the, is it Tuveco? Tuveco Kaveera. You remember which
we live the
yes.
policy.
Yeah, which NEMA ran for a very, very long time. That campaign ran for a long time. And of course, our thinking that time was that if we looked at all the events that gathered people in this country, there was none that brought such a number of people at a go in a single place, not even political campaigns.
Like Namugongo.
Like Namugongo. Not even a crusade, you know, these prayer crusades at the end of the year and so forth. Namugongo probably remained one single event that brought so many people at the same time, and not only for one day, but for a whole week. And I'm not talking about the Catholic shrine alone, but I was talking about the Anglican shrine. So when you add the numbers that side and this side of the Catholic Church, you realize the figures are quite high. So we thought it provided a very, very fertile ground, one, to really launch the campaign, to raise awareness, to speak out to the population, to the public, which was done, by the chairman of the Episcopal Conference that time in his speech, but also in the sermon itself it was integrated, that we need to honor Namugongo by making sure it is Kaveera free, it is very, very clean. And then number two, we also were of the view that if we pass this message in that platform, then this message probably could go out there to so many people at the same time, you know, and therefore that would help to reduce demand for the polythene bags, particularly the single-use plastics below micron 30, which actually are banned, you know, by law. The National Environment Act, I think in Section 76, bans the manufacture, the importation, exportation, whatever it is, all those things of plastics or polythene bags which are below 30 micron. And so this is the reason we picked Namugongo specifically, but also we thought it's a way of honoring the martyrs.
All right.
The martyrs, because martyrdom means shedding blood. Our martyrs shed their blood on that ground. So their blood sanctified that ground. So if it sanctified the ground, then we thought keeping it clean, immaculate was part of honoring that sanctification, that holiness that was a result of the shedding of the blood of the martyrs in Namugongo. So we thought that was the best way to honor our Uganda martyrs. Keeping Namugongo.
Actually, when we talk about the blood being shed on that ground, so if we put it in layman's understanding, when the ground and the environment is filled with veras and plastics, it chokes. Let's say if there is water can't come out because it is already sealed. Thank you for that. And of course, it is very, very inspiring when you look at the day and how it gathers people. It indeed rhymes and connects with the selection. And I think that was a very good thought, and also a very good idea, and we would like to honor and give appreciations to the person who came up with that very idea. Now I'm going to go back to our gentleman from Ndugu Youth Empowerment. We've known, and it is evident that you have been involved in environmental activism and protection and also innovation. So when we look at your activism work and role, and also when we look at innovation, what is that uniqueness about you during this pilgrimage, especially when we look at keeping Namugongo Kaveera free? Have you come up with any innovation? Have you come up with any activism campaign that you would like to bring up, just like how it is here during that day? Do you have any innovative or innovations that you have come up with, especially when we look at the pilgrimage?
Yeah. 3rd June,
Yes.
when you look at the event, almost for a week, it gathers more than 1 million of people. And more so, when you look at the numbers that come in, 80% are youth. So the youth, they need to get the message clearly.
Yes, please.
More so on our key point, Kaveera free, plant a tree. So when we are together, we decided, let us advocate. Let us pass a message. Let us engage into reusable packing materials. So we had to put in some effort to mobilize our partners and our friends who deal in environment, those who deal with packaging. And we are passing on the message to the youth, also to join our team, so that we can protect the nature through making these reusable packing materials, which are good.
Yeah.
So Undugu Youth is on that. 2 things: reusable materials and also planting a tree.
Okay.
When you plant a tree, remember, a tree is life.
Yes.
We normally say water is life, but a tree is life. Oxygen from a tree, medicine from a tree, fuel from a tree, heat absorbing, a tree again, rain making, a tree. So our key point has been on tree planting.
Yes.
So with Namugongo, we wanted to say that at least maybe the pilgrims can go back with some tree seedlings.
Okay.
When you plant a tree, you are saving nature.
You're saving life.
You are saving life.
Yes, please.
So that's where our key point has been, mainly in the Namugongo activities, and we want to pass it on. When you have like 800 youths at the centers in Namugongo,
At the place.
so when they go back with the message, I think more youth there will get the message that planting a tree is a key factor. Proper disposal of Kaveera is a key factor. When we go back, even we try to teach them our four terms on plastic. On plastic, we normally say reuse. Make plastic reusable. Don't litter. Recycle. Let it be recycled again. Let it be collected and then recycled. When you go, refuse. Refuse. At times you refuse plastic.
Yes.
Go with alternatives. Don't engage too much in plastic use. So that one will reduce the quantity of plastic within our nation, and saving the earth, the soils, and more chemistry, maybe to revive it back,
Yes.
so that we can get proper trees, we can get proper food, clean water, and also reducing on the diseases around us.
That's indeed very wonderful. And now I'm going to again back to the gentleman on my immediate left. As nature in mind, we see that you have some innovative and creative strategies that you put to save the environment. When we look at Namugongo, Uganda Matters Day on 3rd June, have you come up with some creative and innovative strategies to make sure that at least there is a move to save the environment? As we gear for Uganda Matters, keeping it, Uganda Matters Namugongo Shine, keeping it clean and protecting the environment. Do you have some creative or innovative strategies you have put?
Thank you so much, Mr. Moderator. What we are going to do, or what we are currently doing at Namugongo, is showcasing exactly what would be used after the bottle that you use to drink water. Are you planning to just throw it away? Is there anything, any idea that you know that you can come up with to make it, to give it a second life? And right now I'm encouraging students, because I've seen, I'm from there right now, I've seen a lot of students passing by. Now we have a new curriculum which encourages young learners to develop ideas from things that they normally look at as waste. So when they come to our store that Caritas has provided, there's a lot of things to learn. I think that is an innovation.
Yeah.
The other thing is we also offer training services to schools, schools that need to engage their learners in creativity and using the reasoning to create, not just learning to become dependent on a job that you may work. I mean, you learn for all those years, and after learning,
You have to
start
look
walking
for a
around
job.
looking for jobs. So we are against that, because we can see a lot of resources around us that people look at as waste, and we can create a lot of products that can make people get something, a living out of it. So we are looking at changing the livelihoods of people from disadvantaged communities. They can come, visit our stall, and look at the things that we create, and maybe interest themselves in doing such things.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
That's very good, and it reminds me of one, should I call it a dogma or something we had in entrepreneurship. We used to say that when you look at a challenge, you look at it, as an entrepreneur, you look at it as an opportunity to find out solutions to bring to the community. Let's say there is a challenge, for you as an entrepreneur or someone who is in enterprising,
Yes.
you enterprise that challenge into an opportunity.
Yes.
Then you bring out an innovation. So I think that rhymes well with what you're trying to do, and also looking at what the new curriculum is looking at. Now I'm going to go back to the gentleman from Caritas Uganda, and I would like you to tell the viewer and also inform us and everyone who is out there watching, how does this campaign fit Caritas Uganda's broader work, especially when we look into climate action and Catholic social teaching, as we refer to some of the teachings like the letter of the late Pope Francis, Laudato Si. How does this campaign fit into that work that you're doing, and also looking at the social teachings of the Catholic Church?
Okay, I've already talked about the Catholic social teaching as a basis, so it's, I mean, for our work.
Yeah.
as well as an inspiration. And Laudato Si is
a key factor in this.
Yes, it's one of those documents that fall within the domain of social teaching of the Catholic Church. And I want also to add that it's not the first encyclical of a pope that spoke about the integrity of the environment. We have had others before that. For example, I remember Populorum Progressio, or development of peoples, talked very comprehensively about development that is sustainable, development that is equal, development that is really, in the best interest of the entire creation. So that's one of them. It was issued around 1966 or 67 by Pope Paul VI at that time. And then we also had others that were written much earlier that were talking about, the destruction of the environment. I remember Rerum Novarum, which was talking about the right of labor.
Yes.
Was talk about the conditions in the factories, the pollution, and so forth, and how the rights of workers needed to be upheld. It was written by Pope Leo, I think the 13th, if I'm not mistaken, Leo the 13th, and of course now we have Leo the 14th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it was, I must say, one of, I think, the very first encyclical that went out there to constitute, or to add to the teaching, social teaching of the Catholic Church. So our work as Caritas is not independent or separate from the whole body of the Catholic social teaching. What we do as Caritas is we implement the principles that are in the Catholic social teaching, and then also the recommendations, because these encyclicals come up with very, very clear recommendations. Even our own Catholic bishops issued documents that have highlighted, the concerns around environmental degradation and all this kind of, including the latest.
Actually, even the recent letter of the bishops, which has been launched,
exactly,
also tackles.
Yeah, there's a particular aspect also, on the environment. Okay. That's the truth will set you free. So as a department of the conference, one of the departments of the church, right from the international level up to the local level, our work is to implement those recommendations, to make sure those teachings that are in this body of, the principles that are in body of teachings are put into practice. So we see that as our very important mandate. Is why, as Caritas, therefore, environmental programs, environmental concerns are very well mainstreamed in virtually all our activities, all our development activities, even humanitarian activities. So we promote tree planting by our beneficiaries, and then we promote alternative energy in the form of Lorena stoves and things like that. And then also we have a partnership, for example, with a certain Danish company called Pesito, where we are assembling a cook stoves that use solar power in order to cook food. And
that's a very wonderful news.
Yes, they have an office right here at the Uganda Catholic Secretariat, and this facility is available. And then we have advocacy that we do after targeting policies and legislation. For example, the National Environment Act, which currently was reformed in 2019, had a lot of input from Caritas Uganda, where we led again an alliance of civil society organizations, a coalition that made a lot of submissions before the Parliamentary Committee on Natural Resources. I remember one of the things that we talked very strongly about, that we advocated strongly, was the total ban on the single carrier plastic bags, label Vera. That was our position and remains our position to date, that this must be banned. The law must be properly operationalized and enforced. That is Section 76, of the National Environment Act. I think subsection 1A or something like that. It has to be enforced. So we think this particular category of plastics is a real menace to the environment. We are not saying we can abolish all plastics at once, because we know that some of these can be recycled effectively, while the single-use Kaveera that we ordinarily use, the shopkeepers give to the buyers and so forth, are the ones that are not easily recyclable. And they're the majority. They're very many in the environment. So we engage very much in policy advocacy as Caritas, but also taking a lot of activities and awareness raising. And then at the local level, the international level, we have been participating in the Conference of Parties to the Paris Agreement in 2015, which governs, states parties, activities and engagements with the current phenomenon we have, that's a global warming or climate change. So we have been working with other civil society organizations to influence, national policies around that. For example, the national determined contributions. We made our contributions as well in different ways with other civil society organizations. And every year we consult, and then we come up with views. We take those views to the Ministry of Water and Environment through the Climate Action Network Uganda, which is our umbrella organizations on climate change. So we have been doing all these kind of things at the national level as well as at the local level. Almost all our dioceses have incorporated environmental issues, environmental program within their development and humanitarian program. So if you go to any diocese in Uganda, that's what you really find. So as Caritas, that's what we are doing. But also now in this alliance, we are leading this alliance, something that I think is very good for us this time, because whereas last year we were alone in Namugongo, and then of course we also had others, for example, Laudato Si, the Komboni, Laudato Si movement. Last year they were there, but they were also doing their own things. Then we probably also had the Franciscans in Namugongo there, and they were doing their own things. This time we decided, no, let us all come together, not only as Catholic agencies, but also we had like-minded organizations that are non-church. Nature in Mind is here, and then Undugu Youth is here. So we thought we could all put our heads together, And how did this come about? It came about through our participation in the organization of the World Environment Day commemoration or celebration this year in Kabale, where Caritas is a member of the National Organizing Committee at NEMA, or the National Environmental Management Authority. So there we met. I met Nature in Mind when I presented the idea of Namugongo, and I requested any partner who was willing to work with us in Namugongo. Nature in Mind came up willingly, and they've remained with us, and we look forward to working with them on a long-term basis. So and then eventually we began to get other members of the Alliance. The Franciscans came on board, Undugu came on board, then we got the Komboni Laudato Si movement, and then we also got some other partners who came on board, not necessarily to participate with us actively, but to make a contribution. Roofings, for example, offered us 3,000 seedlings. That's wonderful. Franciscans offered 3,000 seedlings. Then the Komboni, they offered 750. So 6,750 seedlings.
In total, 130.
Yes. So they were delivered. They were delivered to Lugazi. That is 6,750 seedlings were delivered to Lugazi diocese, and will be planted in 3 parishes by the pilgrims in honor of Uganda Matters. And this will now be, an annual cycle, an annual event. We'll be giving seedlings like this, most likely now, to every diocese that will be organizing every year. And we want this alliance to go beyond, the Namugongo celebration of this year.
That is
that's what as Caritas we are doing in fulfillment of our mandate in ensuring that the Catholic social teaching, particularly related to environment, is promoted, but also is really effectively implemented.
That's very wonderful. And of course, when you talk about coming together and you unite, they always say, in my local language, they would, to translate it loosely, they say that teeth that is combined together is what baits meat. Like like combined teeth is what breaks the bone. So if the upper jaw decides to do it alone, it may not succeed. So that means you need both the lower and the upper jaw to break the bone. So that is a very wonderful initiative, and also coming together. When you're united, you can easily come up with something. Now I'm going to go back to the gentleman from Undugu Youth, and I would like us to know, all the viewer out there, to also understand how, in case it is there, how you have used art, music, and also storytelling to mobilize young people around environmental protection. As we have seen that you have been in schools organizing marathons and the other competitions, let's say dancing competitions. Is there any progress you have made in case you have organized such events? Is there any progress you have made towards environmental protection?
Yeah, thank you, moderator. What I can say to your question, it's yes.
Yes.
We've done a lot of work, and we are inspired that our work is still going on, and it is positive. Yeah, we are using music, art, and drama to inspire youth. You know, nature-wise, as youths, we are complicated.
Yes, yes.
It's a complicated age group. It needs something that can drive it where it wants. But the key thing in advocacy is to giving information. How do you tackle? How do you tackle? How do you give in the information? How do they
Like
embrace
how
it?
you package. the
How do you
information.
package? When you put it in a music, music, youth listen more of music than watching news.
Yes, yes, right, right.
So the message may goes direct. When it's drama in schools, if there is a soft hand, there is a little bit of touching when you talk about drama.
Yes.
So it sticks in a child's mind that this is bad, this is good. So our work is going on smoothly. And what we are trying even to see, that we are looking for more youth who can deal into writing. So far that's where we are. Those who can give in, maybe like simple quotes about environment, simple quotes about our nature. So we are giving in our effort. We are trying to mentor. Undugu Youth, we also have the mentorship programs, whereby youth are mentored in various activities. When you look at our nature, we have the doctors.
Yes.
I personally am a medical personnel.
Wow,
I'm a lab technician. We have journalists. We have engineers. All those youth, we combine our effort and we try to see what can a youth do towards the environment, despite not leaving the line of your professionalism. If you are an engineer,
Stay there.
stay as an engineer. But what do you add to the environment as an engineer? Do you pollute? Do you conserve? You're a doctor. How do you do it? How do you deal with it basically? Let me talk on my side as a medical personnel. Yeah. When you talk about nature, nature is health. So we provide information as a medical personnel to those of our talented members who write those stories, who write those dramas, the medical perspective, so that they can use it in passing on the message.
All right. That is very wonderful.
So
and
that's how we do our work slowly, but we know where we are going. Thank you.
That is very wonderful. Whereby, like you've said, as a medical personnel, you stay in your field, but also advocate for the protection of the environment. And now, as a journalist, actually, right now I'm playing my part. I'm playing my role by making sure that this information goes out to the viewer out there and to the multitudes of the people viewing Uganda Catholic television. That is a very wonderful initiative. Now I'm going to ask a general question to everyone, each one of us here. When we look at this campaign and then we look at faith-based initiatives, now we have the Catholic faith and then we have other faiths. How do you think packaging these messages based on faith is effective to the protection of the environment? Do you think when we say let's target a particular faith and then pass on the message to the people out there, do you think it is an effective way of bringing out environmental protection and conservation, or it might have some hindrances? I will begin with the gentleman on my immediate left. You tell us what a faith-based strategy, the effectiveness it has, especially when we come to these campaigns.
Okay, thank you so much. The strategy that has been taken, as you heard from Mr. Onento Godfrey, is really in the right direction. And to give you an example, is that we are not only looking at the Catholics alone, as you have, as for your information or what you may already know, that at Namugongo almost everyone is there. So you are looking at multitudes of people from different religious organizations that come together, and such a great platform where we can push out our message out there so that people can get to really understand what is the biggest problem that we are facing environmentally as a nation, as the entire world. Because that message that we are passing on that platform is not only going to end there, but it's going to resonate to other people out there. Like, for example, I do have Muslim friends, even though I'm a Catholic, but from there, if I learn that, you know, keeping bad littering is not good for the environment, at least when I go back home, I can share that information with a friend, maybe a Muslim or from any other religious setting. Now, when we talk about the Alliance for Mother Earth being headed by Caritas, a religious organization, you can already see that Caritas is embracing people who are not particularly inclined to the religious setting, but have a common understanding of protecting the environment. They have reached out to people from different groups and called us. So we trust them, because the message that they are taking out there is really something that everyone should be eager to listen to. You've already heard that Caritas is working with the central government in the Roots campaign, which we are also part of. And I don't think that everyone who is at that level, at the government level, is only Catholic. So what we are trying to do involves everyone else, but the center part of it all is the event that is bringing almost everyone from the country and even outside. People are coming from Rwanda, from Nigeria, from Europe. They are all there. So when we make it clear that improper disposal is a problem to the environment, we expect that everyone who is there is going to carry that message back home, and the message will go on and go on and go on. Yes.
Okay, right to Mr. Onento. Is this faith-based movement effective when we look at protecting the environment?
Yeah, it will be very, very effective if only it can be embraced by the different leadership and structures of the different faith organizations. I am very hopeful that next year the arrangement will be quite different. It will be more inclusive. And we have already talked to the NEMA, and they have accepted that part of the celebration of the World Environment Day will need to now be the focus on Namugongo beginning next year. So they want to go back to the 1922, the 2022 commitment that was made here when the No Kaveera campaign for Namugongo was launched, led by NEMA. So next year, NEMA is likely to lead this process, but we'll go into it as an alliance to join with other stakeholders. So they're also going to bring now on board the other faith communities. They will be bringing the Anglican Church. They'll probably be bringing also the Muslim community, because the Muslims also have a shrine that side. So we're going to have probably a diversity of faith communities that will be working to drive home this particular message through different activities in Namugongo. So really we still want to use Namugongo as a very important point of departure. And we believe that if we begin early next year, there is a possibility that consistently for very many years we'll have this incorporated into the sermons that will be delivered at the three shrines, as well as the speeches that are delivered, for example, by the chairpersons, for example, of the conference. Then we have the leader of the House of Bishops on the part of the Anglican Church. So they should be specifically reminding the faithful all the time until this goes down to the ordinary Christian who will be told, those coming to Namugongo, not to carry any Kaveera to Namugongo, but also eventually not to have it in their homes, not to use it in their homes. So because we have a huge structures, huge following in the country, the involvement of faith communities can be quite effective, very, very effective. So what, as I've said, we need to do is to make sure the rest of the leadership of the different faith communities embrace this initiative, and take it up very seriously at their level. Then with that, we are sure the message will reach the homes, different homes, through the parishes, through the small Christian communities, and then eventually they will get to the homes. So it's something we have begun working on, but I believe at some point we'll get there. So it's quite effective in my view. Okay. Quite effective.
Then
it's done well.
Over to Mr. Walusimbi. Do you think this initiative, looking at faith, do you think it's effective? Let's say when you look at Catholics and then you look at Muslims or Protestants, and then you package your message based on the faith, do you think it is effective in just a few seconds, like 30?
Yeah, it's very effective. Yeah, Uganda, our motto says, "For God and my country." And in that index, being a God-lovely country, whoever believes in nature believes in God. Whoever believes in God should believe in nature and protecting it. So the approach is very, very, very systematic and is very good, and it will work.
That's very good. Okay. As we conclude, due to time, I just need you to, each one of you, in just like 30 seconds, to give a message out there to the viewer who is viewing Uganda Catholic Television. Just a message, what should they do before, after, and before, during, and after the D-Day of Uganda Matters University towards implementing this campaign of protecting our Mother Earth and the environment. In just a few seconds, and also send your regards and last words in just a few seconds. I'm beginning with Mr. Walusimbi.
Yeah, my few words are to every viewer and every person here in Uganda: plant a tree for your life. A tree is a future investment. A tree is health. So I send my regards to my mentor, Madame Proscovia, to Uganda Kingdom, my father and my family. Thank you. And thanks for Caritas Uganda for the initiative, for inviting us. Yeah, we are still working together day to day, and let everybody out there know that the campaign is not ending in Namugongo. We are moving forward on it. Thank you.
Okay, right to you, Mr. Onentho.
Well, mine is, please come to Namugongo without Kaveera. honor the matters, come without Kaveera to Uganda, to the Uganda Matters Shrine, please. Then, of course, the message of plant a tree is important for those who can, please, in honor of Uganda Matters. Plant some trees, and actually do this every year if you have some piece of land. Plant a tree every year or some more in honor of the matters, for those of you who believe in the matters.
All right, that's a very wonderful message. Over to you, Mr. Chizito, your last message.
Thank you so much. To all the viewers out there, my message is a bit simple. I've noticed over the years, people in public transport, you're doing something. Not everyone is doing that, but those who are doing it, you're spoiling the environment. That is littering outside the window of the car. Because when we come here, we really feel that we need to put out a message clearly out there. Please, when you eat something, don't throw your used item out of the car. Taxi drivers, truck drivers, people who are in the transport industry, please make sure that that is a problem that we should solve. And the other thing is, for example, what I'm doing currently, each and every birthday of my first son, I plant a tree for him, so that in future, maybe when he's 20 years or 40 years, he will have a footprint in the world that each year I planted somewhere a tree, and already it's making a change to him, because every birthday that comes, he says, "Daddy, where am I going to plant this tree this year on my birthday?"
All right.
So I'd like everyone maybe to take a thought about that. That is my message. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you so much, and we are glad, our dear viewer, that you have been out there watching this wonderful engagement with the people from our guests, one from Caritas, Ndugu Youth, and also Nature in Mind. Just to give a brief summary of the people I've been with here, looking at this same Alliance for Mother Earth, Keep Namugongo Kaveera Free, and also Plant a Tree. We had Onentho Godfrey from Caritas Uganda, and of course, when you look at Caritas Uganda, it is a Catholic Church's national arm for humanitarian and development work across all 19 dioceses. That is when we talk of Uganda, and it has been here since 1970, and it has championed causes like climate change, food security, economic environment, and emergency relief, all grounded in Catholic social teachings of the Church. And also Caritas Uganda has played a key role in coordinating this Alliance for Mother campaign. And also I had Mr. Walusimbi Ibrahim from Ndugu Youth Empowerment Group, which is located in Vasude, Rise, Entebbe, and it is a community-based youth movement committed to empowering young people to take action, especially on environmental issues. They have led tree planting drives, and also they have been in partnership with Uganda Kingdom. They have also led and actively engaged in marathons, school campaigns, and community outreach to promote sustainability for the environment. And lastly, I had Mr. Chizito Godfrey Mutebi, who is the Executive Director, Natures in Mind. And of course, when we look at Nature in Mind, it is also Nature in Mind Youth Environment. It is an initiative which is a youth-led organization and based in Wakiso and district that uses innovation to tackle environmental challenges, and they are known also for efforts like removing 800 kilograms of plastic from Lubiji wetland. Of course, when you look at that, it is a very wonderful initiative, and they also run awareness campaigns to inspire youth-led movements towards environmental protection. And my last message, just as he said, I will also say, in case you're celebrating your birthday, instead of throwing parties, plant a tree. Each year you have, plant a tree. By the time you die, we would have thousands of trees in the country. I have been Kaveera Joshua Stephen moderating this talk show, and I would like to say you are very wonderful and honored, and we are always humbled to have you watching Uganda Catholic Television. Don't leave, always engage with us, and also don't forget to go to Namugongo if you can make it. But if you cannot make it, please keep glued to Uganda Catholic Television. We shall be bringing you all the proceedings. I would like to say stay well till next time. Bye-bye.